Hi friends, this is Yamuna from IELTS Crammer, and in today's video I will share with you 10 success tips for getting a band 8+ score in your IELTS writing.
If you want to crack your IELTS, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any updates.
Dear viewers, welcome again. I'm so happy to see you in another video that I've made today. It's a very special one. I'm going to share with you 10 success tips if you want to score a band 8+ in your IELTS writing. Now, writing sections are the one where people generally lose their score. So they will do very well in listening and very well in reading, but writing and speaking, but especially writing, are the places where you will make some mistakes and lose your marks. So that's why I said it's a very special video, because if you follow these tips, I am sure you would get a great score. And I will also include an assignment at the end of this video, so make sure you're tuned in till the very end, and I'll have an assignment which you need to complete. Put it in the comments and I will personally review and give you feedback. I will also include my personal experience from IELTS writing, something which you could benefit from, and I will feel so happy if my learnings can also assist you in your journey. So as you know that in the IELTS writing section, it is different for general training and for academic. In general training, you would be required to write a letter, which can be either formal, semi-formal or informal. In your IELTS academic, you have to describe or summarize the main features from a diagram, from a graph, a chart, or a table. And it is 20 minutes for the task 1, and it will be 1/3 of your score. When it comes to task 2, it is 2/3 of your score, where you have to write an essay on a general topic or from an academic topic. And because it's 2/3 of the score, you have to pay double attention. So my tip number 1 for your IELTS writing is that there are no right or wrong answers. So don't go too much about accumulating a lot of information or a lot of facts, because that's not going to help you. You can get a question from any topic in the world. So what you need to really focus on is being able to provide the approximate or at least some closest answers. It's not crucial or essential that it has to be right or it has to be wrong. They're not checking your GK in the IELTS writing, but they're checking how nicely can you express a thought or an opinion or a fact. So don't spend too much time on accumulating a lot of information. My tip number 2 is ensure task achievement. So when you get the question, you have to analyze the question and exactly understand what they want you to write. Do not go off topic and do not interpret the question in your own way and give some misinterpretation. You have to just follow what they ask you to do. If they give you a situation about railways or roadways, don't write too much about airways. You just have to focus on the question that is given. Whatever they ask you to do, if they ask you to give some advantages, go for it. If some drawbacks, go for it. Don't mix and match any information or any of your ideas. Just be very to the point, and that will ensure that you have achieved all parts of the task and you'll get a good score. My tip number 3 is do not use bullet points. So that is absolutely not going to be tolerated, because if you use bullet points or numbers, you're not following the pattern for writing an IELTS level essay. You have to put your answers in a nice, coherent, structured and logical manner in different paragraphs. So if you're confused what to do, try to make a template for your answers. I have made and published a video on 1-minute templates for IELTS essay writing, and that is for task 1 and task 2. I have linked that video in the description below, so please watch it if you want to get a good idea on how to make a quick template and provide crisp and on-the-spot answers for your IELTS writing. So once again, do not use bullet points. My tip number 4, and that is especially relevant for academic task 1, is do not interpret information. So if they have given you some numbers, some figures, just write them as it is. Do not interpret or give your own meaning for the question or for the figures, because you will lose marks. You have to do the task achievement, which is providing the factual information that is there. So don't try to give a logical reason of why this and this could be that. You just have to follow what's given in the question and present that data as it is in your answer. So just make sure you follow that, and when you make your template, don't try to overcrowd with a lot of data. Just put the key feature and just put the main similarities and the main trends, and structure your essay. So that way you will, when you look at your template, you will know exactly that in para 1 I need to write this, in para 2 I need to elaborate more on this, and in para 3 I need to elaborate more on that. So that way you will finish your answer within the 20 minutes time frame, and also get time to recheck and reevaluate your answers. My success tip number 5 is especially relevant for the writing task 2, wherein you need to write an essay. So the success strategy for getting a good score in task 2 is to follow a template, and I have linked my other video in which I have given 1-minute templates for your IELTS writing, so please watch that. I've linked it in the description below. But in summary, what I'm saying is that you need to first understand the demand of the question, write a brilliant introduction, because that's your first impression on the examiner. And when the examiner reads your introduction and he feels, wow, this person has written such a wonderful introduction, I'm just looking forward to read what this person has written in the next paragraphs. If you get that impression, and if you write a good introduction, the assessor would more likely read your answer in a more positive way, thinking that yes, this person will write better and better. So give a good introduction, a good neutral background statement, reword your question, that's very important. And also when you come to your body paragraphs, that can be either 3 or 2, ensure that you do give examples, because real life examples would be would provide that depth to your answers. So just use some examples, either you have seen them on the TV, in the newspaper, or if you have gone through them personally, just whatever is relevant, use it as an example to expand and provide more reality to your answers. And in the concluding paragraph, try to make it consistent with what you have written in your previous paragraphs. Don't make an over-the-top concluding paragraph which does not make sense or is not connected to what you have mentioned previously, because otherwise you will just lose marks. So make sure it's consistent and very logical. You can give your opinion as well, a nice opinion which is not too harsh, which is not too direct, but very diplomatic, a very nice conclusion. My tip number 6 is practice the writing tasks and work on your grammar. This is a very crucial tip. The more you practice your writing, the better you will perform. Because once you keep practicing, you will realize that which areas you need to work on. So when you do your writing tests, make sure you get them assessed from a bona fide source, so that you know that I need to work on this areas, or I need to work on this task more, or I need to work more on my lexical resource, or I need to work more on my grammatical range, or I need to work more on my the way I'm structuring my answers. So that way, once you understand the loopholes in your answers, you'll be able to work on that and perform better. So make sure you perform minimum of 8 practice tests, writing task 1 and writing task 2. Also, when I say improving your grammar, that means you should try to be very especially careful of the tense forms and also of the singular and plural nouns. So you should know when you need to add an S at the end of your word. For example, writers or teachers or books, when you need to use a singular noun and when you need to use a plural noun. And also with regards to spellings, now in the IELTS they do accept standard American, British and Australian spellings. So ensure that you know how these different types of English spell the words, and you're accustomed with that, you're familiar with that. So that will definitely help you to lose any points based on some silly spelling mistakes. My tip number 7, which is a crucial one, is to use a flavor of different sentences. So my dearest friends and viewers, my humble request, please do not use just simple sentences. For example, Aaron is watching TV or Samantha is cooking. There is much more to writing different types of sentences. You can use complex sentences wherein you join an independent clause with a dependent clause. Or you can use a compound sentence where you join 2 independent clauses with a comma. For example, I really need to go to work, comma, but I'm too sick to drive. So that way, some variety, using different sentence structures. Try to use some clauses, conditional clauses or subordinate clauses. Try to use if, although, while, but. So once you use this variety, it will give the examiner a feel that, hey, this person has a good grasp of English grammar. He's using different sentences. So that will naturally increase and pep up your score. My tip number 8 is do not repeat the question. That is very, very important as well. Don't just copy paste the question from the question to your answer. You will not get any marks and it won't be added or included in your word count. So make sure you paraphrase it and you just reword the question. What I will do now is I will show you an example question, and I have given you a background statement along with I have paraphrased the question. So it's all going to follow now in our slide, and that will help you to understand how you need to write your introduction para. So here we go. So I hope you got an idea how you need to structure your introduction para and how you need to reword your question. Stay tuned till the end. I'm going to share an assignment for you as well, in which you will be required to rephrase or reword a question as the introduction and put it in the comments below. I would personally review, assess and give you some feedback. Moving on to my next tip, which is again an important one, is try to avoid contractions. So do not use contractions in your essay. For example, can't or won't or don't. Just try to be very formal, because these essays are academic in nature, or they are related to a general article or a topic. So be very formal, be very professional in your writing. Don't be very informal and something which does not get you anywhere. So once again, avoid contractions. My final tip, which is very simple but very useful, is be original in your answers. So while it's useful and very good to read different answers, but it won't be helpful if you just memorize them and you produce them in your essay, because sometimes it'll just not make sense. It won't match with the question. The examiner would easily notice that this person has just memorized the answer and is just writing it, so it won't give you any good marks. So it's good to read, good to take some tips, but don't memorize and just produce the exact same thing. Try to be original in your thoughts, in your ideas, and even when I speak of different vocabulary, it's good to memorize different words, but make sure you do know the meaning of those words and you use them appropriately in your sentence. Don't just make a mess by using very hi-fi words, but then they don't really make sense and you end up nowhere. Another thing with the sentence types also, don't complicate your answer too much by using a lot of sentence types which don't really make sense, and in fact they are giving you more errors and are spoiling your score. So keep it very simple, very natural, very original, professional, and I'm sure it will be a good score for you. Alrighty, so it's that time of the video where I'll give you your assignment. It's the viewer's assignment section. So I'm going to give you a writing task to question. What you need to do is give me a good introduction for that question. Just rephrase it, reword it, write a good background statement and give it in the comments below. I will personally review and give you the appropriate feedback. So follow, the slide will follow now and you'll have 1 minute to write your answer in the comments below. So here we go. So, how did you go with that assignment? I'm equally excited and looking forward to read your answers. So please post them in the comment and I will surely review and get back to you on that. Now, before we conclude, I would just like to share my personal tip and experience when I was preparing for my IELTS. So I had 2 weeks to prepare for my IELTS writing, and in the past I have been a writer. I have written articles for different magazines and I've also done some proofreading stuff. So I was very confident that I will not make any mistakes and I'll get a good score. So I just sent my essays for review, and some of the examiners, they got back to me with some feedback that I need to improve my synonyms, I need to improve my choice of words, I need to improve my sentence types. So when I actually read the feedback and the reviews, and my score sometimes coming less than what I expected it to be. So when I actually analyzed from the eyes of the IELTS examiners and keeping in mind what's the criteria that they are looking at, I could then see my mistakes in that scenario. So I would also urge you all to definitely take up writing IELTS essays and getting them assessed from a bona fide source, so that you can know exactly what are the loopholes in your writing and which areas you need to work on. You will be, or you might be very good in structuring your essay or have a good base of ideas, but you necessarily might not be good with your grammar or with your lexical resource. So the things where you need to improve on or you need to focus on, you will know it only when you send your essays for review. So I would urge you all, please do practice a minimum of at least 8 essays of task 1 and 8 of task 2, and how many ever it's possible, send them for review, and that will help you to understand and then get a better score. And then I got a better score in my IELTS writing. So it's my personal tip and experience. If you will follow it, I'm sure it will really boost up your score. So with that, I would like to conclude my today's video. I hope it has helped you. Please let me know how you liked it, and if there's any topic that you want me to make a video on, please put it in the comments. I absolutely love hearing from you. I await hearing from you. And please ensure to also hit the like button, the subscribe button, so that you're in tune with whatever updates or whatever videos I keep posting every now and then. So till we meet next time, good luck on your IELTS journey. I wish you all the best and see you next time.